Hey you, I know that the daily dose is late tonight, but the reason why is there was lots of construction, so much noise, and even still the neighbors are having a party tonight. So it's been a wild night tonight, but I still wanted to jump on for my night owls out there. Shout out to you if you're a night owl just like me. But I wanted to share with you guys today a little bit of, like, mostly addressing, I guess, the surprise that people get from me being like a dragon witch who loves God, like from the Abrahamic religions. And so today I wanted to kind of just tell you how I see dragons as gifts from God. And if you're new here, assalamu alaikum, merry meet, and welcome back to your daily dose of DragonFaether. My name is Azura DragonFaether, the Draconic Priestess, and today I'll be your host for sharing my perspective on how, yeah, dragons are gifts from God. And the reason why I believe this, first and foremost, is because you can look anywhere throughout human history and absolutely see dragon mythology, dragon symbolism, dragon imagery, dragon art, even just the dragon archetype somehow within the culture itself, or the storytellings, or like literally anything. You'll definitely find a trace of them or something like it somewhere. And that's my favorite part about dragons. And what really showed me a miracle, because had God willed, dragons wouldn't exist in my perspective. And people sometimes seem surprised when I say, yeah, I believe in God, like the Abrahamic God from Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I believe in this God. And they're like, but you believe in dragons too? And I'm like, yeah, I believe that this God created all of it. And some people might kind of scratch their heads and be like, how does that work? And truthfully, I've been very vocal about it on my channel. I even have a really old video called Christian Wicca. Okay? I was very, very unpopular throughout my entire YouTube career, okay, for just being like, hey, but like God and like witchcraft though. And ever since I like came out of the closet as Muslim, and because I've been Muslim for like almost 2 years now, but now like actively practicing it like in a public sense and sharing my like experience about it, I get a lot of questions about like how is the Muslim witch thing a thing? And it's like, hey, look, man, I get it, but like honestly, what I don't understand is a surprise, because like I've always been like, hey, I'm a witch who loves God. Hey, I was raised Mormon, but like my love for God never left me kind of thing. I struggle with it from time to time, but the one who kept me like on that path, if you will, was like my dragons. They were like, don't abandon your faith in God, little dragon. It was like kind of the thing. So even when I struggled with it, I was very much reminded to keep it in my heart. And let me tell you a secret that the dragons taught me way before I knew about Islam. They're the ones who taught me that anything exists if you choose to believe. And we have so many different religions and spiritualities and faith-based practices all around the world. It's really miraculous, honestly, and what definitely sets us apart from the animal kingdom, if you ask me personally. But it fascinates me so much because of how different yet similar all of these practices are throughout human history and throughout cultures that didn't meet, and also cultures that did have connections and stuff like that. But the ultimate reminder of that is that we could be any other way, but this is the way that we are. And the way that we are has dragons everywhere. And that is so magical to me. And that is something that even when I was a little girl, going to Sunday school, you know, reading the Bible when I was very young, and still coming home and reading my dragonology books, I was still on the same kind of frequency of like loving God and loving dragons as I am today. I just am a little bit more different about it today. And I know that might be kind of confusing and surprising for some people, but I just kind of like want my story to be a reminder of a few things. First of all, there's just so much diversity in the human experience. That's why like God created us to be who we are, to have the different faiths that we do, and also we have dragons everywhere because it is just a sign from God that we're all a little bit more similar than you think. Like, we're all kind of the same in this way, you know? Doesn't matter how we identify. So that's something that I find miraculous and very intelligent in the design of this human experience, right? It's almost like dragons have always been such a part of the human experience, no matter who you are or where you come from, which is just so fascinating, and I will be in love with it forever. But my love for God was very, very much something that I just really clung to when I was raised that way. I mean, I don't really know what else to tell people other than like the Mormon church really just wasn't the way for me to connect to God. It was Islam. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of how it is. And some people are like, oh, but like, how do you like worship like a masculine God? I'm confused. And it's like, you know what? The way that I was raised was very much like a heavenly father, if you will. So like a divine masculine energy. But the way that Islam really like showcases the almighty, the all-wise, the Lord of all worlds, if you will, is not by gender. It is by being above all of creation. Like, so superior in might, you can't even compare Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to any part of creation. And that to me is also a gift to understand, to help me better understand my reality. And for some people that doesn't work for them, right? But in my experience, it's always been the dragons that I've connected with this world and been able to express myself and found a passion in and a love for, and just something to study and be fascinated about. And as Muslim, I'm supposed to study anyway and learn what I can, and studying the mythology of dragons and how it intersects with human culture and faith and religion around the world is just so fascinating, and I will never be able to learn it all because there's just literally that much going on here, okay? But all I'm trying to say is that our dragons, the way that we work with them as dragon witches, is one that's based off of faith and calling and belonging. Those who identify as dragon witches or anything with dragons, if they even just simply believe they have dragon guardians, you know, you don't have to be a dragon witch to work with dragons, right? But anyone who really taps into that dragon energy will understand that it's about improvement for you. It's about your best life experience. It's about your evolution. And that is why I love dragons, because as much as they might know for you this is a different path that's going to be better for you, my dragons knew for me that my faith in God was so critical to my happiness, my well-being, just my everyday life practice. And I love being Muslim, by the way. You know what I mean? It's something that I willingly found and chose, and wouldn't have got here without the dragons telling me to be on TikTok, despite how much I didn't want to be. Different story for another time. Back in 2020, that was just a wild ride. I should do just a 2020 story time playlist because there's so much that happened, but I digress, okay? The point that I'm trying to make is that the dragons have always guided me before I even knew what Islam was, and alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim now, and I found Islam, and I'm so blessed to have the internet to even understand dragon magic, or you know, Islam. Like, that's like the blessing of this life, is that we were created with free will. There's no compulsion in religion, and if you just do your best and just do the best that you can to be a good person and evolve and help your community around you and just take care of yourself, like seriously, take care of yourself and your family, like just do your best, okay guys? Like, there's no need for us to hate on each other. There's no need for us to other each other. Like, the only time you really need to get mad or angry or frustrated or anything is if people are hurting others and spreading corruption in the land and, you know, causing violence in innocent places for people. And that's kind of the point, you know? That's why I see dragons as gifts from God, because my whole life I never really had anything other than dragons to feel like I had sense of like safety or family or community, or even when I like found friends who liked dragons as well, that gave me a sense of camaraderie with like people who I didn't know very well, and that was really, really special and important to me as a kid. Just because, like I said, I was left alone a lot, so when I was at school and associating with like friends and stuff, that really meant more to me, just because my parents were usually working, so there's just a lot going on there. I'm sure I'm not the only one, of course, but all I'm trying to say is that like this is my perspective and my path and my journey, and that's what I share here on the Daily Dose of DragonFaether. And everybody who walks with dragons walks it differently, and that's what I want to remind people, is that every practitioner who works with dragons and loves dragons and even calls themselves dragon witches will definitely surprise you in what they believe in. And the most beautiful thing about people who practice dragon magic and any flavor of it is how unique they are in their faith, in their work, in their belief systems, and in their understanding and experience. And especially they're as unique as the dragons that they work with, of course. And even when some of them work with the same dragon gods like Tiamat or Apep or Leviathan, if you will, all of this means is just that we're all a little bit more similar than we are different, but at the same time we're so unique and one of a kind. And that's the paradox, right? And that's something that I also love working with dragons, is they help me see the miracles of paradox within this reality that in my eyes as a Muslim is just a sign of my Lord's infinite wisdom. And if we really study and reflect on the world around us, we're able to see so much of this wisdom and knowledge and lessons like hidden in plain sight, if you will. Nothing's really hidden, you just have to know how to look at the things that are around you. And that's why I love God, and that's why I love dragons, and that's why I love magic, and that's why I also believe that more than anything it's a gift from God, and we have the responsibility to use it justly or use it unjustly. And that's just what I really wanted to touch upon today for tonight's late daily dose, was what I was trying to say. But I had so much fun sharing this little tidbit here. Today was just so chaotic. We had a whole plan for this week, but it just kind of like shifted because, you know, we shapeshift here on the channel. But we will be doing the Dragon Clan week. We're probably going to start the intro episode this week, but we will deep dive into the actual dragons and like the actual individual dragon part of it very soon here, because Dragon Week number 2 is coming up very closely as well. I'm so excited. We're going to be deep diving into draconianism, so you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to join us in the Hatchling Clan Discord server if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the magic of dragons and also religion and spirituality and faith from all around the world. We like to cross-reference it because there's usually a dragon hiding somewhere, and we like to find the dragons hiding there, okay? You know what I mean? We like to find it somewhere. But anyway, I hope you have such a wonderful night and such a wonderful day wherever you are tuning in from in this world. But I will see you very soon, all right? Thank you for spending some of your day with me today. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Okay. That was an episode, you know? Okay. Good office. Blessed be. And please follow me so I don't get lost.
We'll see you back next time for your